so we'll do 3 blankets, a bolster, 2 blocks, and a strap. And then let me know. Yeah, 3 blankets would be good. I'll let you guys get a few more if you need. So, tell me, how you guys feeling? Where are you tight in your bodies? Hip flexors and lower back. What'd you say? Yeah, I know. There was a mama the other day. She's like, right here. It was so cute because it was like, and then she started laughing. What is it? Oh, what is that? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I remember I got a lot of pubic bone pressure. That's what I always called it, right? That's what you mean. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay, it's good to have these things in my mind so we can do some poses to release some of that. Okay. Okay. Well, let's start just kind of relaxing all of that to begin. And we can put a block here. And so you're on the highest height, and then the medium height right in front of it, and they're touching. And then you put the bolster up against that so it touches both edges of the blocks, and it feels pretty good and sturdy. And then we'll put blankets under each knee like this. And then for your head is the third blanket. So we're going to use all the stuff for our first pose. And so these will be for underneath your thighs. So you can bring the soles of the feet together, and then the strap. Hi. Okay. Okay, you ready for this strap tutorial? Okay, so you bring it around you, and then you bring it nice and low on your sacrum, and the soles of your feet come together. You're going to put the strap between the 2 loops and pull it through just a little bit, and then bring it back through the middle of those 2 loops and pull it. And then we'll put it around our ankles. So put it around the toes to the ankles. And then you want the metal to be so that this strap is facing towards you. And then you pull it so it's nice and tight around the ankles. And also the metal, you want it to be in between your ankle and your thigh so that it's not pressing on your skin. And then you move this strap behind you really low, down on your sacrum, because this is meant to really give us a really nice sacrum release. It pulls your sacrum down kind of away from your low back. And then make it as tight as you want. It feels really good tight. And then if it's too tight, then you just lift up on the metal to loosen it really easy. So you're not going to be like stuck or anything if you do it too tight. So nice and low. Get it pretty tight here. So you feel all tangled up. Make sure your sacrum touches the bolster. So maybe scooch back a little bit more and then lean back. And get your blanket where you like it under your head. for support. And then you can either just have the palms face up or bring your hands to your womb, to your belly, to your baby. And then we'll just settle in here and just observe how you're feeling here. And we can start to deepen our breath here as well, in through the nose. And expand in the belly like you're breathing all the way down into your baby, really connecting to your womb. And then exhaling and just releasing and letting go. So just a nice slow transition from our external focus to our internal focus. So sometimes the eyes want to stay open for a few moments and then close them, and we'll slowly transition that awareness inside and breathing nice, slow, deep breaths. So you really expand your diaphragm, give your belly some space. Imagine you could breathe into the baby, like the baby could really feel it, especially if your hands are there. Your hands are full of healing energy, and that's really what the womb needs, is more energy. So it has plenty to support and grow your baby. So just a few more nice slow deep breaths. And on the exhale, let yourself make a sigh. So the next time you exhale, just make a nice just like a nice releasing sigh breath. Do that a few times, and don't be afraid to make it nice and loud and audible. That sigh helps release energy in the root chakra. And so any kind of stress, we want to release it. And good. And then you can bring one hand up to the heart and one hand is to your womb, and really focus on opening up, stretching your lungs, stretching your heart chakra, and just open to receive the love that lies within us, and releasing, letting the shoulders melt, and maybe even rub your heart a little bit and just send lots of soothing energy to your heart center as you breathe in here, and see if we can harmonize the heart with the womb, and just notice, like, as if there's a little thread between your heart and your baby, and we're just making sure that thread is really nice and strong with the ebb and the flow of your breath. Sending a wave of energy down to your baby from your heart. And then next, we're just going to bring the palms over the eyes. So you cover out the light as you're lying there, covering your eyes and just sending some loving, healing energy to your eyes. Breathing into the eyes and into the brain. And releasing and letting go the stress in the head and in the face. Imagine you could breathe up into the brain, into your eyes, and then rub your face with your fingers. Maybe push on the third eye center with your fingers and around the temples, the forehead. And then squeeze your ears, pinch your ears, and push your ears into the side of your head. Massage the back of your neck and your shoulders. Let your head rock side to side. Nice big breath up into the shoulders and into the neck. just bring your arms over your head, and you can maybe just grab your forearm to stretch your arm up here. Stretch your shoulders.
Carry me to my home in the ocean.
And then you guys are welcome to just kind of play here with your arms. If you want to reach through the fingers, you can reach through the fingers or circle your wrists around a little bit over your head. Maybe do some big circles with your arms out and around and forward and up, and just kind of explore the space all around. Open here. Big breath into the heart. And just feel, where does it feel really tight in your forearms and your fingers, and just reach all around and just kind of play with the movement in your arms, your shoulders.
In the light of the moon, with the river I do run, in the hope that one day I will dive beneath the ocean, and that this river will flow.
And then just bring your arms wherever you want them to be. Palms face up towards the ceiling, back of the hands to the floor, or hands to the body or above the head. And just again feeling the ebb and flow of your heart and your womb and that third eye center, connecting to the divine. And then we can flip our palms to the floor, and we're going to push ourselves up. When you're ready, take your time, loosen up your strap, and then we can bring the strap off to the side, and we can bring the blanket, one of the blankets, down, and let's move our stuff so that the bolster is just over to our side, a little more to the front of our mat, and put the blocks up there too on either side, so they'll be ready when you want to grab them for some of the other poses. And then we'll just get a little hands and knees time. And let your body just kind of wiggle around on your hands and knees. Maybe hips sway side to side. And when you bring your hips to one side, you might look up over that same shoulder. So hips to the right, look up to the right. And just a little bit of twisting, nice gentle twisting side to side. And then of course, cat-cows. Thumb and pointer finger you want to press down nice and firmly into the floor as you round your spine to stretch like a cat stretching. And then arch, tailbone up, look up, and exhale and round. And inhale and arch. Take your time, exhale and round. Move to the degree it feels good for you. Inhale and arch. And at your own pace is fine. Exhale, round. One more. And then we can take a few hip circles, loosen up those hips. Let the hips fall to the right, down to the heels, and over to the left, and make as big or small circles as it feels good for your body. Some nice big deep breaths. So 3 in one direction and 3 in the other direction. Get some little clicks out of those knees, maybe even out of the hips as well. And then we're going to just come to a child's pose. So up to you how you want to do your child's pose. Knees apart, toes touch, either forehead just straight to the floor here or to the back of your hands, or grab your bolster and bring it under your chest so it supports the chest and you bring one cheek down. So either way, take some breaths there and let your prop support you as much as you'd like. So big deep breath in through the nose, expanding in the low back. And exhale and releasing through the forehead into your mat or on one side of your head. And just imagine the low back really expanding here with each inhale you take. And give you a little push. So grounding all your thoughts into the earth with each exhale you take. Imagine they're moving into the center of the earth, and your inhale is absorbing the innate intelligence of the earth, of the Gaia. And just a few more really big deep breaths here. When you're ready to come out of that, we're just going to come back up onto our hands and knees and maybe move that bolster off to the side if you had it there. Take a breath. We can curl the toes under and just take a moment to stretch the feet for a moment. Curl those toes under, stretch the feet, maybe roll the shoulders up and back and down a few times. And then interlace your hands behind your back. See if you can squish those shoulder blades together here and lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Maybe look up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and just bring the tops of your feet down. You can bring the knees together here. And you can always put a block under your sit bones as well if it hurts your ankles. Yeah. And then we're going to put our knuckles over to the right and then drop your right ear to your right shoulder, and we'll just breathe into the neck here. Nice slow deep breath in. And try to relax that head and the jaw especially. Notice if you're clenching in your shoulders at all. And then just chin to the chest. And take your time, chin to your chest. Bring the knuckles slowly over to the other side. And then left ear to the left shoulder. And we can pause and take a few breaths, getting a nice stretch on that right side. And then just chin back to your chest. Put your hands to your shoulders and give yourself a squeeze on the shoulders. And maybe up the neck if that feels tight. Just chin to the chest. And just have a little freedom. Let your one ear go to one shoulder to the other. Maybe do full circles here as just intuitively move your neck around. Full circles or just little U shapes, or if you want to just pause and breathe into a really tight area and maybe use your fingers for a little extra acupressure on some of those tight spots. And then you put your fingers behind your head and give yourself a little more pressure as you bring the chin to the chest. And then inhale, and you look up and squish those shoulder blades together and roll the shoulders back and down. Look up, and then exhale and round. So kind of like the cat-cows for our neck and that upper back a little more, really concentrating on this area. And inhale, looking up. Go ahead, go at your own pace. Do about 3 of these. Taking your time, opening up. I love these because these are really help the heart center connect up to the brain. So see if you can really squish that upper back where it feels like it disconnects from your neck and from your head, and breathe into that area. Okay, and then we can just bring the hands down and pause for a moment, take a breath, and come back onto our hands and knees. We'll bring the knees a little bit apart and bring the left hand to the center of your chest, and then we'll reach the right arm up, get a twist, and take your time in the twist. Really reach through the fingers, nice twist in the spine, and then bring the right arm under your left and bring the right temple to the floor, reaching your left arm forward. And then just wiggle around on that right shoulder. This is a really good stretch for that shoulder. But let yourself wiggle a little bit. And then I suggest put the pointer finger and thumb together on your right hand and reach through those 3 fingers on your right hand, just to give a little more energy, flow, encouragement through that shoulder and through the arm. And feel free to wiggle here so that you're in a position, we're getting a really good release also for the womb and for that pubic bone in this pose. And we're grounding all our stresses out of the right side of our head. So notice that, really surrender your temple, letting go of all the stress on that right side. If you want to bring your left arm up and around, you can, over to the right hip. You can grab your pants on the right side of your hip, just to swing it up and around for a breath or 2. And then we're going to unwind, so we'll bring the left hand back down and bring it right under the chest again. So kind of wiggle that left hand right in the middle, and then bring the right hand up again, and we'll bring it down, and then we're just going to do the other side. And so right hand to the middle and left hand up, and take your time, really get a full extension, and then bring it underneath and left temple down, right arm forward first for a few breaths. Pointer finger and thumb together on the left hand. Reach through those left fingers, and then I encourage you to just wiggle around on that shoulder so you can feel how it feels a little different if you're more on putting pressure on the tricep or the middle of the shoulder or the top of the shoulder, and then just find where it feels like it's right for you. Breathe into your belly and that pubic bone, and try to really get a good release in your womb at the same time as grounding all of our stresses out the left side of our head. A nice deep shoulder stretch. If you want to bring the right arm up and around for a couple breaths, go ahead and lift that arm up and grab the left side of your pants. Beautiful. And then we can unwind when you're ready. Take your time. Left arm up. And then bring your hand back down. Okay, now we'll curl our toes under. We'll come into a squat. And feel free to grab your block if you want to sit on your block. You can make it a little easier like that if you're feeling like you just want that support. If not, you want to get a little deeper stretch, then we're going to have no block. So, but if you do have the block, make sure that the heels are as close to your sit bones as you can get them. And then either hands to the heart, or you guys are welcome to bring your fingers to the floor as well to get the support that you need. And then we're just going to breathe here. So we'll reach to the crown of the head, expand the belly. And then we're going to squeeze our pelvic floor muscles and picture a red glowing light at the base of the spine. And inhale, expand in the belly, release the squeeze. And then exhale, squeeze, really strong root chakra, red glowing vibrant light. And inhale, expand. And exhale, squeeze pelvic floor muscles in and up as you reach up through the crown of the head and gently tuck your chin in, shoulders down. One more breath. And exhale, squeeze pelvic floor muscles. So either stay here for another couple breaths or round your spine if you'd like, and press the thumbs to the third eye center. If that feels like it's a little too squishy for your body, just keep your head upright. And anytime we do a little more rounding forward folds, you might feel a little claustrophobic because your baby's getting bigger and bigger. And you're always welcome to just inhale and make a nice undulating lift up so your spine's nice and straight and you feel that length. And then we're going to do a forward fold, so toes will point forward, and then we're going to hang in a forward fold. If you have your block, bring it a little more forward so it'll be ready when we need it. They always end up towards the back, so bring them up there. Sway side to side. Bring most of the weight to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees slightly. If your baby's really big and the forward fold just is hard, you can put your elbows up on your thighs, and that might make you feel a little more supported, just a little more leverage there. You can still get a nice forward fold, but have that support. And anytime we need to come out of a pose early, please feel free to. We're going to eventually roll up to a standing, but we'll take our time and find a little bit of stillness. Crown of the head reaches towards the floor a little bit more with each exhale. And then when you're ready to roll up, we're going to bend our knees and we're going to just slowly roll up. Let the arms dangle. Each vertebrae stacks one on top of the other. And then we can roll our shoulders up and back and down a few times. Good, and then we'll just shine our palms forward. Maybe bring your feet so you feel stable. Maybe just a little wider than hip width distance might be good. So weight to the toes and then to the heels, or to the balls of the feet and then to the heels, back and forth. Good, and then left to right, side to side. And then slight bend in the knees so you feel really nice and grounded, and even the weight distribution out on the bottoms of your feet, and then straighten your legs and squeeze your thighs. So roll your shoulders one more time. They tend to always want to roll forward, and then palms forward. And then either stare at one thing in front of you. If you feel stable, you can close your eyes, and we'll imagine growing roots into the earth through the bottoms of our feet, really getting connected to the energy of the Gaia. And as you inhale, imagine you are pulling up the energy of the earth like your legs are two straws, and we're just sucking it up and just harmonizing our frequency with that deeper healing frequency of the earth. And then feel your fingertips, and we're going to feel the energy in the atmosphere like we're pulling it into our fingers, up our arms, into our heart. And exhale, relaxing those shoulders. And then imagine just the infinite source of energy inside our bellies as you inhale. Imagine as you breathe in, we're tapping into that. And like branches growing out the crown of the head. So this expansive energy opening up all around us as we tune into our spirit and the spirit all around us. And then we can reach our arms out and up. So big breath. Reaching out and up, we can bend our elbows and just squish those shoulder blades. Bring the hands all the way down and interlace the hands again to open the shoulders, roll them back and down. And then we're gonna do a forward fold. If it gets too intense, you can drop your arms down, but see how you do, bringing your knuckles over your head, bending your knees. And then you can bring your right shoulder towards your right knee, bend your right knee a little bit more, and then do that to the other side. We're gonna come back up. So see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together and then lift right back up and open up, and then arms out and up, and then exhale, hands to the heart center. And then we'll just flow a little bit more here. So arms out and up again. And then exhale, we'll fold down. So either hands to the heart or arms out to the side. And then now let's walk to down dog. Walk your hands forward, bend one knee, bend the other knee, and take your time just wiggling around as much as you'd like. Wiggling has such a healing effect on our nervous system and sometimes can really help to break up some of the deeper, tighter tension, which might be more like emotional tension, which manifests as our physical tension. So the shaking and the moving left to right, always encouraged, especially in prenatal, especially the baby growing. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and bring your knees down and then look up towards the ceiling. Get a little blood out of your head. Walk your hands just a little bit forward, like an inch forward. And then we're gonna bend our elbows. So we're in plank pose. So knees, hips, and shoulders in one line, and then bend your elbows, and then just push straight back up to our plank pose. So nice strong arms. And when you do that, have the elbow creases face towards one another a little bit more. So we're lowering and we're lifting and then we're lowering. Good. We're just getting nice strong little chaturanga push-ups. And then on this next one, if you'd like, we can arch our back. So you let your hips come down a little more. And if you want to keep your elbows bent, you can keep your elbows bent or straighten the arms a little more. Or if it just doesn't feel good in your back, you can always just push straight back up. And then we're going to go back to down dog again. So take your time and transition back to down dog. And then we'll step the left foot just a little bit closer to the right foot. And then lift your right foot up to the degree it feels good in your body. You can lift it all the way up, maybe bend the knee, circle the ankle, and just listen to your body there. And then we're gonna step it on the outside of the right hand. So maybe take a couple steps forward. And you can put your blocks under your hands here for a little extra support, or just hands to the floor. And let the hips sink down towards the floor. We'll get a good psoas stretch. Press that back foot into the mat a little bit deeper. You want to lift your head up here as well, so it becomes a little bit of a back bend as we push the hips down. So feel free to stay here, or if you want to take it up, we can bring the hand up to the knee and then the other hand up and see how that feels. And make sure the hips are still reaching down towards the floor. And then if you want to play with your arms, we can reach them out and up, and palms either face towards one another, or you're welcome to interlace them if you like that. One more big breath here, and then we'll do a forward fold and stretch the hamstring. So we'll put the block underneath our left hand. You can use both blocks, but I always suggest to grab your toes with your right hand. Inhale, lift halfway up, and then exhale and fold. And you're welcome to do those undulating, lifting, halfway up inhales as much as it feels good. So if you want to do that again and it feels good to be a little more dynamic in your yoga, then feel free to wiggle and move and follow your breath. Otherwise, if you want to just keep rounded in that hamstring stretch, then just stay there. And then we'll press our left hand into the block, and we're going to lift our right hand up on an inhale. Keep the right toes flexed up towards the ceiling, and we'll look over towards the right. Breathe. Circle your wrist, that right wrist, once or twice. Get some energy to move up through there, and then really reach through the fingertips. Maybe even look up at the fingertips. Drop the right hip down just a little bit more. One more really big breath here. And then reach the fingers over the head. Look towards the fingers as we bring them forward. And then we can bring our knees back together. Blocks out to the side. And we'll get strong arms again if you'd like. Come to that chaturanga push-up. Just 3 little push-ups. So elbows bend by your side. Exhale. And then inhale and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, really heating up the arms and that upper back. And then your last one, you swoop up. If that feels okay on your body, try to get the shoulders away from your ears. And yeah, always feel free to skip. I know I wouldn't have liked the back bends when I was pregnant. So curl the toes under and all the way back. So honor and listen to your body, because we all have different bodies, different stuff going on, but the best part is our body is always communicating with us, and that's one of the best things that we learn in prenatal yoga is to listen. So now we'll step the right foot a little closer to the left foot and lift the left leg up nice and high, or as high as you'd like, and bend the knee, circle the ankle. Again, follow the good feeling, and then eventually step it forward on the outside of the left hand. And we get our blocks for that support. And take a breath. Lift your head up here. Drop the hips down. Back of the foot presses down. And you want to also pay attention to the shoulders, because they always want to scrunch and just kind of slouch here. So try to roll them up and back and down. Reach through the crown of the head and lift up, and see if you can notice how that helps to open up the energy up your spine. And then check out your elbows. Have them face towards one another. We always want to hyperextend. We always shine elbows forward, so they want to be towards one another. And then maybe hands up. We can bring one hand to the knee, the other hand to the knee. Either stay here for a couple breaths or play with your arms. Bring them out and up and open up those shoulders and energy all the way up. The fingers maybe looking up. One more big breath. And then we can fold forward and then use the block under the right hand at least. Left hand can either come to the block or to the toes. Inhale, lift halfway up. And then exhale and fold. And we'll bring our left hand up when you're ready. Let the left hip down. Fall down towards the floor as you reach up. Look to the left. Circle the wrist once or twice. And then we can maybe look up again towards the fingers. One more big breath. And then fingers over the head. And then we'll bring the block off to the side. And we'll just lower one time. Unless you want to do 3. Let's see, who's really motivated today? Who wants to do 3 push-ups? You can do 1 or 3. It's good for your arms and your upper back, and then arch and take your time coming back to your down dog. And let your feet be as wide apart as you like. Bend those knees. And you want to squeeze your pelvic floor muscles too as you exhale in your down dog. So eventually when you're ready, we'll walk our hands back to your forward fold, back to your feet. Hang in your forward fold. Then you'll inhale, just lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. And then we just slowly roll up again, one vertebrae at a time. And you can reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, bring the hands to your heart center. Nice. Okay, so we're going to make it easy today. We're just going to step our right foot forward and then our left foot back and bring our hands to our hips. So we'll do our standing poses. We won't go up and down too much. We'll just do all the standing. So we'll bend the front knee, and then the knee goes right over the ankle, and then just straighten and bend a couple times. Feel it out. Make sure you got the right distance. Back toes you want to face a little bit forward. So have those back toes a little forward, And then let's get the arms going. Reach out through the fingers. Look at the front fingers. And then inhale, straight legs, straight arms. Reach up. And exhale and bend. And inhale and lift. And exhale and bend. Beautiful. One more. Nice. Exhale, bend. And then just flip your palm and reach up and behind you for reverse warrior. And then our forearm to our thigh. Right forearm to the right thigh. Push the knee over to the right a little bit and squeeze your right hip in towards your body. Reach up. And we can reach over the head for a breath. Nice long stretch along the left side. And then go ahead and come on up. Reverse triangle. 2 straight legs. Reach the right arm behind you. And then hands to the hips, and heel toe your back foot in just a little, especially if it feels like it a little bit wide. And we'll come into triangle pose. So if you'd like, put the block here so it's ready. And then you're gonna shift your right hip back behind you. So think about the right sit bone. So the shoulders are more forwards here. And if you squeeze your thighs, you can feel that stretch. And then from here, bring your hand to the block. You still feel the stretch. And so all you do is rotate the left shoulder over the right shoulder without moving the legs. Don't rotate the legs. The right sit bone still reaches towards the back of the room. And take a few breaths there. And lengthen through the crown of the head. Good. Reach the fingers over the head. All the way over the head. And then we'll inhale and we'll come all the way back up. Good. And then let's take a star pose. Let's move this block, though, out of our way so you can move it in front of you. And then point the toes out to the side. Nice big star pose. Bend the elbows and sit in a squat here. Good. And inhale, lift up just one more time. And then exhale, squat, and bring your hands to your knees. Push your knees away from one another. Lower your left shoulder, look up over the right shoulder, give yourself a good twist, pulling the right knee forward, and then twist the other way. Right shoulder down, left shoulder down, pull the left knee to the left. And then do a cat-cow, a nice wide cat-cow. Tuck your chin to your chest and then arch. And a wide leg forward fold next, so you point your toes forward and either bring your hands to your heels or palms to the floor. And crown of the head reaches for the floor here. A slight bend in the knees is good, and that will help you bring more weight to the balls of the feet. You want the toes to point forward and even a little bit in towards one another. Good, and follow the good feeling. We can try a wide leg down dog. So you walk your hands forward here. And just push into the floor. Shift one hip down and the other hip down. So you kind of just wiggle in those hips. And then reach back through the sit bones. Okay, so we're going to come out of this and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And just heel toe the feet together. We'll stand at the back of the mat. And face forward in a mountain pose. Let the feet come hip width distance or maybe a little bit closer together. Let's reach our arms out and up. And then just bring the right hand down and reach over to the side. Push the hips over to the left here. And inhale and lift it up. And then over to the other side. Reach the right hand over to the left and the hips to the right. And inhale and come all the way up. One more breath. Nice and centered. Good. Okay, switch to the other side. So hands to the hips, left foot forward, right foot back, and just find your good alignment. Back toes face a little bit forwards. And then we add in our arms. And 3 breaths. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bend. Gaze at the left fingertips. And inhale and lift. Beautiful. Exhale, bend. Some of you need to bring your back toes a little more forward. It'll help your knee not tweak. Exhale and bend. Lift the left hand up and behind you. And then forearm to the thigh. Push the knee over to the left a little bit. Right arm up. Look to the right. If you want to look up at your fingertips, you can, but make sure you got good balance. Fingers over the head for a nice long stretch on the right side of your body. And then reverse triangle. Inhale, the arms out and up. And then we can come hands to our hips. Heel toe the back foot in just a little bit. Let's put a block to the inner edge of our ankle, but then come back up and shift the left sit bone towards the back of the room. 2 strong legs. And you could just stay right here too, and then rotate the right shoulder over the left, but that block is there if that feels good. And maybe look over to the right, extend the right arm up, and squeeze your thighs. Keep thinking left sit bone reaching towards the back of the room, and you'll increase that nice deep stretch. And then over your head, stretch your side with your, or reach your right arm over your head. And then we can come on up. Let's grab the block and put it out to the side while our hand is on it, and then come up. Point our toes out to the side and just do 1 squat or 2 squats actually. So you'll lower and then you'll lift. And then we'll go ahead, bring our hands to our knees and just move around how it feels good for you. Might just sway side to side here. Maybe again lower one shoulder and then the other shoulder. Get that good twist. And nice release on the sacrum, hopefully. If you like the cat-cow here as well, loosen up sacrum and then to the wide leg forward fold. And you guys can choose, either stay in a forward fold here, just reaching the crown of the head down, or if it felt better to do the wide leg down dog and crawl forward, then maybe do that instead, or a little bit of both. It's really honoring and listening to what's helpful for you in this moment. And relax the shoulders, relax any stress or strain in the body. And take your time coming out of that. So we'll roll up when you're ready. And heel toe the feet together. And we'll step towards the back of our mat. And then we'll come all the way down. We'll just bring our toes nice and wide and come into a squat. So you can just bring the fingers to the floor as we come down. Nice, and see if you can get the heels down. If you can bring your hands to your heart. Just another big breath here. Nice. And then we're just gonna bring our hands forward and come onto our hands and knees. And we'll bring this bolster in front of us. And then we'll bring a blanket for under our right hip. We'll do a nice deep hip stretch now. So let's see, what else? So what you can do also sometimes feels good is put blocks under your bolster if you want to have more support. When you bring your shin, we'll do the right shin first, and then have the blanket be more under the thigh. I find that to be a little more comfortable as opposed to under the sit bone. And then, so first push in and make it a little bit of a back bend, so you get a little deeper into that stretch. And then once you take a breath or two lifting up, then go ahead and come down and relax on your bolsters. If you like the blocks under your bolster, it might feel like a little too lifted though. So if it does, you can remove your blocks. And just try to get to a state where you can completely relax your torso if you can, because that'll help your hips relax a little bit more too. And you can push your thumbs to your third eye here. And again, feel free to wiggle a little bit. Remember, wiggling is always good. It's kind of a way of communicating with the tension in our body. Acknowledging it and breathing into it. And then releasing and letting it go. keep lowering the left hip down towards the mat. And take your time in that stretch. So when you want to come out of it, you'll just slowly push yourself up and maybe do a cat-cow, or if you want to do a down dog, you're welcome to do a down dog. And just kind of wiggle around until we switch sides. Bring the blanket to the other side, and then bring your left shin forward and heel toe that left foot a little more forward. That's it. So you want to bring the blanket so it's more like under here. You put your knee here, yeah, and the blanket is more like there. Yeah. Does that feel more comfortable? Okay. Let's see where your foot is. Yeah. All right. So sinking into that left hip and glute stretch. See if you can keep breathing into your body. Coaching those muscles to get a nice deep release. Imagine you could bring your breath all the way down into that hip. So take your time there. When you're ready to come on up, we're going to come up. Hopefully we get a good deep stretch there. And then we're going to put the bolster over onto the left side. And then we're going to lay down and put the block underneath our sacrum. So, and also have a blanket be wadded up for your head, because we're just preparing for Shavasana. But first we're going to release the sacrum one more time. So you'll just lay on your back flat, and then you'll lift your hips up and put the block underneath you. And then hands to the hips, and we'll do a few undulations with the hips. So you'll press your tailbone down into the block and then tuck it under, and just help release a little bit more in the hips here, and the sacrum really, and see how that feels. So a little bit of wiggling and moving around, and then a little bit of stillness. And then we're going to bring the fingers to the block and just bring the block like a half an inch or an inch higher so it touches your low back. And then you're going to bring your knees up towards your shoulders. Kind of like, I mean, you could do a happy baby pose, but if you want, maybe just start with hugging the knees up towards the shoulders, just grabbing the knees. And then I just want you to follow the good feeling. So this will help to open up the hips, release the sacrum. If you want to grab your feet in happy baby pose, go ahead and do that. Or if you want to do little rowboats movements with the knees, like you're rowing a boat, that can be really nice too. Maybe even wide legs. If you want to do wide legs, you can either grab the big toes and do wide legs, or grab your inner thighs and do wide legs. Another option is just legs straight up towards the ceiling. Get some blood to flow out of those feet and ankles. Circle your ankles around, point and flex your toes. Big deep breaths down into your belly, into that pubic bone. Good. And any last movements before Shavasana? Follow the good feeling. And before Shavasana, we're going to do bridge pose, so the spine gets a nice massage. So when you're ready, put your feet to the floor and lift your hips up. And take your time in bridge pose with your hips up towards the ceiling. And remove the block before you roll out. So move it off to the side, and when you're ready to roll down, just go really nice and slow. One vertebrae at a time. Gets a good little massage. And then we're going to end up on our left side for Shavasana. So you'll grab the bolster, put it between your knees, and a blanket under your head. Big deep breath in through the nose. Maybe a nice exhale through your mouth. Nice sigh, letting your body relax. We did a lot of movement. So we'll just see if we can get a little more restorative energy down into the womb in our Shavasana, relaxing the mind. Gentle gaze at the point between the eyebrows. And as you inhale, imagine breathing in a light here. In through the point between the eyebrows, like you're breathing in a divine, loving, healing elixir. I always like to use the analogy, just like your baby latches onto your breast and gets this perfect nutrient and all this love from your heart center too, that pours into your baby's mouth and body. So as we gaze at the point between the eyebrows and you take a deep breath in, just think about this is how we connect with the divine, however you conceive that to be, this innate intelligence. And just imagine you're just kind of guzzling this divine healing light into your third eye center and into your brain and down your throat and into your heart and all the way down to your baby. And just like the baby, then once it starts guzzling the milk, it starts to almost get drunk because there's good endorphins that get secreted, and there's this sense of safety too, nourishment. So just feel like you're being held in the divine's arms as you exhale and really allow yourself to surrender. Feel held, feel the love of the earth holding you up, and gravity pressing you to the earth, and the air breathing you, like you're in the cosmic womb. And there is a love here, and you're conscious of it now, and you're plugging into the source. Grateful for your life and this little being growing within you. And just having a moment, a present moment with your baby and with the divine. And then just for fun, we can do a little visualization. So let's visualize this baby, 2 years old, and just picture, some picture in your mind of what color their hair and their eyes and their skin, and visualize yourself maybe in your favorite place in nature where you're just excited to spend time with your baby, to have a beautiful moment. And so picture them and picture yourself there and really enjoying being with your baby, your 2-year-old. And picture yourself feeling really grateful for being present in that moment and really relishing in that moment, and grateful for this little life. And then bring your awareness back to this moment and take a deep breath in and feel this little being inside you in this moment. And just let yourself have a present moment and really feel what that feels like, what this being feels like within you. And big breath in, like you're just sending a big wave of loving energy into your womb, and picture your baby's cells feeling it. A sense of peace and love and gratitude. So we're going to take our time now with our next deep breath in, and when you're ready, you'll push your right palm into the floor to come up and sit up on a blanket. And just have a little meditation. You might want to have your palms face down on your knees and pointer finger and thumb together so it feels just more grounded in your body. Or if you want to have the palms up, that's fine too. Or maybe a hand to your womb and a hand to your heart is another nice way to place your hands.